Okay, it's Sunday here, the Sunday before the conference, and my daughter and I are calling through each and every attendee of the conference to verify that everybody knows to bring their ID to get into the Health and Freedom Conference. We have boxes of books arriving everywhere. Boxes of books are arriving. We've got other boxes of books, boxes of T-shirts. Everything's arriving for the Health and Freedom Conference. Look, the Model T arrived in time for the Health and Freedom Conference. It's going to be awesome because this whiteboard, all these wonderful conservative leaders and people that are patriotic, people that love our country are all going to be, not all of them, but many of them will be in the same place at the same time to share the truth about what's going on. I'm super excited about the Health and Freedom Conference. I can't wait to see you. That's my daughter. She's probably calling you right now. So if you get a call from her, she's not a member of Antifa. That's Havana. That's my son. He's also no longer a member of Antifa.
Whoa. To be coached hard means you have to be willing to be uncomfortable.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zillner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Mr. Clyde started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Okay, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're joined by Matt Klein, who's the franchise brand developer with OxyFresh, and Pastor Jackson Lawmeyer joins us. So I want to talk about this topic. Matt Klein, formulate your thoughts. Pastor Jackson, formulate the thoughts here. This is the topic I want to get into. I believe that daily diligence is the difference maker. Daily diligence, just doing the basic block and tackle, the basic checklist, the basic tedious, not exciting, glamorous stuff. That's the stuff that makes the difference. And whether it's a church, whether it's a business, no matter what you do, I believe it's the daily diligence that is the difference maker. And I want to get Matt Klein, I want to get your take on this, because OxyFresh now has grown to the point where you have, 540 territories now? And how many OxyFresh locations are now open there, Matt?
Yeah, we're over 500, we're not quite at 540, but we are, we add a couple every month or so. So we add 1 or 2 a month. And, we're at a point now in our franchise where we have a lot of people that have done this for a decade. Now they're exiting because they're retiring. So we're doing a lot of transactionals as, these people are selling their franchises because they've kind of gotten to the end of their franchise life cycle. So that's also a super healthy part of a good franchise too. So we're doing both.
So just to think about this for a second, folks, and I'll pull this up so everyone can follow along and kind of hopefully this makes sense to everybody. You're not the only carpet cleaning company in the history of America. I mean, that might be shocking to somebody, but I think some people that they're looking for a new niche, they're saying, I'm looking for something where nobody else has ever done it before. I'm going to be the first, most innovative carpet cleaning thing in the history of mankind. And one could argue that OxyFresh is the greenest carpet cleaning company available. But at the end of the day, Matt, you're not the only carpet cleaning company when you go into a market. Can you talk about some of the daily disciplines that the successful OxyFresh franchisees are doing? Because just like any franchise system, there are people in that top 10% of the OxyFresh system. There are people at the bottom 10% of the system. But there are certain
action steps that need to be done on a daily basis that really do separate the top franchisees from the bottom of the franchisees. Talk about the daily diligence.
Yeah, there's multiple levels of this, and I do agree with you. The folks that do these things consistently, their businesses are in much better health than people that sporadically do them or don't do them at all. And what I'm talking about are, for instance, like getting reviews or putting an emphasis on your company to where those reviews are a absolute guarantee they're going to come. It is not like, I hope I get a review today. It's like, we are going to get 5 reviews today because we have 10 jobs or whatever it is, right? And so if you are the one doing the jobs, or if you don't have employees yet, you are responsible as the owner to make sure those tasks are done on a daily basis, not a weekly basis, right? And then if you have employees, your now goal is to make sure that your employees, a part of their job, just like cleaning the carpets themselves, is to get that review in the home before they leave, right? It must be done there because you're about 90% less likely if you just send a review to somebody, right? There's no one there to kind of hold them to the fire. Also, in terms of just operational support, like as a franchise owner, a business owner, you are the person that's responsible for your employees' performance, right? So your ability to set the standard every day and so that they can meet their weekly goals. If you set a goal, like a quarterly goal that they need to get to, and you don't ever talk about it, right? They're not gonna hit those goals typically. So you need to be able to talk to them, set their goals, ask them what they're gonna do, ask them how they're gonna do it, keep them accountable, because as the owner, you're the only one that's going to be able to push them to be either better or worse at those jobs or at those titles. And then obviously, referral business. Referral business is huge, right? You've already paid for a customer, you're at the home. You might as well at least ask that customer or ask the neighbors if they're also willing to get on the service, because my employees get bonus from that and we're already there. So it's a super high productive customer acquisition on that front. And so there's just little daily activities for absolutely everything. You can just build all this stuff in every day, touch points, activities. They are what make a good business better.
Now, I'm going to be kind of vague about this example here, and then I want to go to Pastor Jackson. But there was a church I went to for a while there. And Matt, you remember how COVID, lockdowns, I'm not going to get into that, but, people were looking for different churches because some churches were open, some were not, And so my wife and I, we thought, we're looking for a church that's open. That's the primary criteria I'm looking for right now is a church that's open, okay? So I go to one church, and again, being very, very vague, and it's clear, Matt, that the pastor at no point has a point. Like it's clear to everybody in the room that at no point does the pastor have a point. Let me pull up this microphone here for you real quick. So this pastor, and God bless him. I mean, there's a lot of energy to it, Matt. There's a lot. It's like a kind of a Chris Farley energy to this guy. He's doing a lot of, woo, how's it going? Yeah. Welcome to church. All right. You guys are hardcore. Churches are closed, but you're open, baby. Woo! Well, and you can tell he doesn't have the and he started it sounded like a John Madden analogy, kind of unwinding, where he's like, the turkey leg, the bucket, we could all, and my wife and I we left the church, and she's like, at any point did he have a point? I feel like I might have missed. I go, no, he didn't have a point. And you could tell because there wasn't Bible verses on the screens. You could tell, again, it's hard to pull up the verses that the pastor's saying if you don't know what they're going to be. So in order for the team to be able to pull up the slides, they would have to have the slides. So you can tell that. He also was going way over on his time, and it just seemed like it was a wandering generality. And Pastor, when I watch you, you deliver your sermons, and I'm not saying you're the, perfect at everything, but it's clear that you've prepared. And I just want to get your thoughts on this. How much time do you spend preparing a sermon before you deliver it every Sunday at Sheridan.Church?
It may surprise some people, but I always say a good sermon requires about 15 to 20 hours all together, putting it together, because you got to study, you got to put it together, and then you got to practice it, and then you got to deliver it. And so it is a much longer process than just getting up on stage for 30 minutes. Otherwise, you have what you just said, no point at all. And so it's about a 15 to 20 hour a week process.
And one thing that you do, which is fun as a church attendee, is you study geography, history, and the Bible. So you'll say, when Paul said this, a lot of times you'll pull up on a map, Paul said this here.
Sure.
So Paul was here when he said this, and then this is what was going on, and it provides context.
Right.
And it's very clear you're intentional. Now, Matt, I see business owners that wake up every day, though, without a plan. And again, you said something so powerful. I wish I could quote it and put it on a shirt. You said, Matt, there are certain things that are going to happen, that they're going to happen. You're going to make them happen. So I'm going to highlight this, put this in an 18-point font, 24-point font, so everyone can see this. These are things that you have to do every day, whether you're running an OxyFresh or any kind of organization. In order to grow an organization, you have to be organized. So the first thing you have to do, you got to have a daily huddle. You got to have a daily huddle. And somebody has to be the quarterback in that huddle, Matt. I see a lot of business owners, a lot of organization leaders, for whatever reason, they don't want to follow up on the action item that they just talked about yesterday. And so today, I followed up with multiple individuals today about the same thing that I have followed up with them on Friday about. And I'll follow up with them tomorrow about the same thing I touched base about today. Matt, let's talk about that daily huddle. Why do business owners fear the daily huddle, and why are those so essential? Because you actually own your own OxyFresh franchises and you don't clean the carpet. So why are those huddles so essential?
Well, I've done both. I've done them where I'm really strict and I do them all the time. And I've done it where it's like once every couple weeks, I think it shows your employees that you're also invested in their success. So they're going to be more engaged with trying to do that, because if you're meeting every day, they're going to want something they bring to the table the next day, right? Everyone wants to have approval, and also if that approval comes with their paycheck, it's also very important. But I've also seen it. The longer you wait to give like positive reinforcement or like fix bad behavior, the worse it's going to get and the harder it's going to be to fix. Right. So if you can do that, if you can basically do it long enough to where they know if they don't do their thing, they're going to be called to the floor or be embarrassed by their team. Right. And it's just self-embarrassment, because they know if their peers are doing it and they're not, it's going to self-correct. But if it takes weeks for you to basically have these meetings, right, they have enough time to basically mess around and not do their tasks. Because I can tell you, for me, there's too many things going on. If I wait that long, I won't even know what information or data that I'm trying to talk about.
This is so big. And again, I'm trying to give examples for everybody out there, no matter what kind of organization you're involved in at the church. Pastor Jackson, every week you do announcements.
Yes.
Now, you saw my all staff meeting today, where every week I have an all staff meeting, and I celebrate wins of the week. Every single week I do wins of the week. Every single week I celebrate the employee who got tipped the most with some of the organizations I'm involved in, where tips are provided. Every week I acknowledge new people, and it's like it's a checklist. I'm not going off of memory. And every single week at Sheridan Church, one thing you do is you come up and you make the announcements. You talk about, we're bringing in this speaker, Tim Tebow's going to speak. We're bringing in the pop Christian music artist, Colton Dixon. He's going to speak. Hey, we're bringing in Darryl Strawberry, Major League Baseball player who turned his life around. He's coming in. But you don't forget to do that. But again, during the lockdowns, my wife and I probably went to 5 or 6 different churches trying to find a church. And I'll never forget this pastor with the Chris Farley energy. Like, once he wrapped up church and people were on the way out, he then tried to get people to pay attention for the announcements. So he's like,
no.
All right, buddy, appreciate you. Have a great one. Woo! People are out and he's just high energy. He's going for it. That's his niche. Just, yeah. And as he's doing that, now it occurs to him, oh no, I didn't tell anybody about ABC. So he's like, hey, everybody, guys, before you go, everybody, hey, can we turn my mic back on? Hey, sound guy. And he's trying to get the mic on, and it's just rough. Can you talk about this idea of why do you have to make the announcements every week?
Because most people, although if they're there every week, they didn't hear it last week or the week before. So you got to say it again and again and again. And you just have to be consistent. And I try to say the exact same thing over and over and over in my sermons, just from a different angle or perspective, because, most people don't get it the first time that you say it.
It's so important, folks. I hope everyone's taking notes here. Second, you got to wow every customer. Now, if you're at church, you don't have customers, but you have attendees, you got to aim to wow. And Matt, the difference between aiming to wow and just aiming to satisfy are so different. Let me give an example. I want to brag on a company, Texas Roadhouse, the one by my office here. Those people, there's a young lady, she applied for a job to work for me years ago, and I did not hire her. Why? Because I didn't have an availability. So we did the interview, we put the job at the now hiring ad out, she applied, and we just filled the position. And I told her, I am so sorry we can't hire you right now. We just filled the position. But if you would like to try back in like 30 days, we'd love to look at it there. But you are a great fit, and I'll be happy to recommend you to anybody. Well, she got a job at that Roadhouse, and she's one of the managers now. So whenever I go in there, she's always like, hey, what's going on, Mr. Clark? How are you? But she goes out of her way to make sure every customer is wowed. So, just as an example, if you order like bread with your meal or you order sides of some kind or whatever, she likes to go to all the tables and say, how's it tasting? Could you cut into that steak for me? How's it looking? Is it good? And she myopically obsesses on that. And then if there's ever a delay, she's like, have you been helped? And if nothing else, she'll ask you more times than she should. I mean, she if anything, she errs on the side of over clarifying. Have you guys been helped? Have you guys been greeted? Do you have a table? Do you have a table? So we might get asked, Matt, if I'm in the lobby of that restaurant, I might get asked 2 or 3 times, have you been helped? Are you good to go? Because they're just on it and they're aiming to wow. And then before they come and bring the check, she always says, were you guys super happy with the meal today? And if not, just tell me anything I can do to make sure you're happy. And I've probably been there a half dozen times, seriously, over a period of years, where someone has said, my steak was a little whatever, that kind of thing. And she'll go, well, here's the deal. I'll make sure you're not charged for that. And then let me get you a free dessert. And she just focuses on she's so good at it that this particular Texas Roadhouse, I mean, it's hour-long waits on most nights. And Matt, you do the same thing at OxyFresh. When you guys clean people's carpets, you're going in with a goal to wow. Why is it essential that everybody watching today's show reframes their mind, not just to satisfy, but to wow?
Yeah, because we don't have the Roadhouse model where you can go once a week or once a month. Our typical residential customer uses us twice a year. So it's even more important in our industry that if you don't leave a lasting kind of impression and a good one, right, from literally before we get to the home, you need to be in contact and at least offering something, right? We have what's called a coffee and a newspaper, right? You call them 30 minutes before, say, I'm on my way, can I get you anything, right? Most people don't take you up on it, but what you're doing is you're establishing that you're willing to help them, right? It's not just about the transaction of money being changed. And then you get to the home and you show up and you're presentable and you ask them questions and you get to know them and you try to help their home. Your only goal there is to make their house or whatever their business is better when you leave. And that includes on how they feel. So if you're not able to do that at a high level, you risk them going in another direction because you weren't impactful enough. And in business, it's hard enough to get a stable group of new customers. Right. But if every customer that you have to get as a new customer, you won't succeed. It's too hard. You need to have, your company needs to evolve to have customers on customers and people to refer you because it's a good one. And then for use you to 5 times in a row, right? So that your business can grow. And people spend more money, by the way, the second or third time they come, not the first time.
Now, the other things I want to share, this is so powerful, Matt, this is so powerful, is, you have to gather objective reviews. And for anybody that doesn't know this, OxyFresh now is one of the highest rated and most reviewed companies in the world with 314,000, reviews so far. 341,000 reviews. That is so powerful. You have to gather objective reviews from real customers that really do love you. It's so important you do that. Point number 4, 5, and 6, with the limited time we have, I want to go 90 miles an hour. Point number 4, you got to call all the leads until you reach them. And Matt, that's one thing about the OxyFresh call center. If anybody buys an OxyFresh franchise, if they buy a franchise from you, and by the way, it's less money to buy an OxyFresh franchise than it costs to buy a Suburban. I repeat, it's less money to buy an OxyFresh franchise vehicle. To buy an OxyFresh franchise, which I perceive to be a vehicle to get you from where you are to where you want to be, it's less money to buy an OxyFresh than it is to buy a Suburban. Think about it. Go to oxyfresh.com to learn more. But Matt, you have a call center.
Yeah.
The average carpet guy has to call his leads and clean carpet. The average person out there in America who's a carpet cleaner has to call the leads and clean the carpet. Yep. Call the leads and clean the carpet. OxyFresh, you have a call center of dedicated people, and all they do is call inbound leads until they're reached. And I've been to the call center multiple times. I've talked to your reps. I've talked to your wonderful managers. And they'll tell me, Clay, sometimes someone will fill out the form, and we might have to call them 5 or 6 times before they pick up. Can you talk about the importance of calling people until you reach them, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we have the luxury that people are calling us, right? So they want to engage with our business because they chose us as their provider, or at least to give them a quote. And so step 1 is answer the phones, right? Like you're talking about the guy that's in the truck doing the jobs and answering, like he's going to miss a certain amount of those calls just because of the nature of what he's trying to accomplish, right? You can't be talking to a customer and then answer your phone at the same time. It's super unprofessional. So that really gets out of the way. So I'll book 15, 20 jobs a day or something, and that'll be handled through either the scheduling center or the online scheduler. And then I might step in for a couple, right? Like, let's just say someone gets a quote. If I leave that quote there and I don't do anything with it, I risk losing that customer. So yes, everything worked right. My customer found me, they engaged with the scheduling center, and for whatever reason, they got a quote, right? A lot of people do that. Like, I want to get a couple quotes. Well, as the owner, if you call that person right away, you have like 50+% of booking that job because you get in front of them getting more quotes, right? And you can do that. But the scheduling center will book 90% of those jobs as they just come to us and book it, right? And then people that maybe will call like on off hours, we'll call them back. And it's the same thing you're saying. It's like, why leave that to chance? Everything's already worked. They already engaged with us. You already paid for it typically,
Right.
In terms of customer acquisition. So by not putting those things in place, you risk just lost cost.
Now, the other two things I want to hammer home on with the limited time we have is two more things you have to do every week if you're building an organization. You have to interview people. And Jackson, I've noticed this with the church. You have a great praise and worship team, and it's a deep team. So it's like you've got multiple people that could lead praise and worship. And I don't know that number. Maybe it's 5 people, maybe it's 4, but there's multiple people that could lead praise and worship. You've got multiple people that could play drums, multiple people that can play the keys, multiple people that could play the guitar, the bass, etc. And you have multiple people, and you're constantly developing that next level. And then they're constantly being trained. Your praise and worship team is constantly being trained. And again, this is a praise and worship team at a church. But eventually somebody's going to get to a place where they say, you know what, Pastor, my wife and I were moving back to Michigan. Hey, you know what, Pastor, my husband and I were taking a new full-time job in Texas or whatever. Yeah. And if you don't constantly develop that team, you end up in a spot where you can be held hostage by people, or you could have to hold people hostage to get it done. Can you talk about why even though you want people to stay a long time, even though you do have a great culture there at Sheridan.Church, why do you have to constantly be recruiting new talent and training existing talent?
Oh, because I learned the hard way early on. Things happen. Sometimes people leave on good terms. Sometimes people leave on bad terms, and it just happens. And so my motto was, we got to get backups to backups, because somebody may be sick on a Sunday morning, or you just never know. And so having backups to backups gives you the ability to press forward regardless of whatever's happening. And the same is true in any business or company. You got to have always a backup to the backup.
It's just so important. And if you're out there today and you say, well, what can I do as a result of this information? I'm going to give you 3 calls to action. So first off, if you're looking for a church, if you're looking for a new church home, go to Sheridan.Church. One thing that's kind of fun about Pastor Jackson is he brings in a lot of people. Jonathan Cahn, one of the best-selling authors in America right now, he came in to speak. Donald Trump Jr., Rudy Giuliani, Kash Patel, Perry Stone, Riley Gaines in the house, Roger Stone, Eric Trump, Daryl Strawberry, Bishop Hines, Tim Tebow, Eric Trump, Robert Kiyosaki. I mean, just a lot of fun folks that come join you at Sheridan.Church, and you can watch those online. And most weeks there are people from sometimes even all 50 states, watching. Thousands of people watch online there. So if you're looking for an online church or a place you can go to hear the word of God, check out Sheridan.Church. And if you are looking to for more information about buying an OxyFresh franchise, go to oxyfresh.com, oxifresh.com. Request a free consultation. Just click on the franchising button right there. That's oxyfresh.com. Matt, I'll give you the final word. What would you want to say to anybody out there that's thinking about buying an oxyfresh.com franchise?
Yeah, I say this a lot. It costs nothing but a little bit of time to explore if this would be a good fit for you. I would say even if you don't choose OxyFresh, it might just open your eyes to opportunities of business ownership. I'm not claiming that OxyFresh is the best for everybody, right? But I will tell you, there's so many people out there after I get done talking to them, they have no idea these things even exist. They think about franchising in a vacuum in terms of being like McDonald's, but they don't realize that there's stuff inside their budget that will meet some of their needs, whether it's timing or financial. But anyone that hasn't looked at franchising, I think it's a good thing, because whether you do it now or a little bit down the road, I think having an exit strategy, or at least forms of secondary or third types of income, I think as we move forward in this kind of new world we're in, I think it's imperative. So I think everyone would be doing themselves a favor.
Matt, I really do appreciate you. Thank you for your time, for joining us again. That's thrivetimeshow.com/OxyFresh. You can go there to request information, thrivetimeshow.com/OxyFresh, or you can request information right there at oxyfresh.com. And Matt, is it true that you once led Colorado high school basketball in the entire state of Colorado. There's a big state called Colorado, and in that big state of Colorado, there was one man who might or might not have led the state in scoring in basketball, a man who averaged nearly 30 points a game for an entire season. Matt, is that man you?
It is me.
How
Yes.
many points a game did you get at your peak season there, Matt?
During the regular season, I was at like 30, almost 30 points a game. But I will tell you, the guy that actually got his name's Nick Fazekas, but he's in the NBA. And he was just like 1 or 2 little decimals above me. So,
And so Nick Fazekas, he's in the NBA right now?
no, we're old, man. I'm like 40.
No, but LeBron's still in the NBA. There's a couple of you guys holding out.
Yeah, those some of the freaks, they got no. He played, I think he did play in the NBA for a little bit, or maybe overseas, but he's like 7 foot tall.
Matt, how tall are you right now?
I'm under 7 foot for sure.
Are you how tall are you?
Yeah, I'm like 5'11".
5'11", and you led the entire state in scoring.
Yeah, I didn't pass a lot.
Incredible. So again, Matt Klein, if you want to talk basketball and business, that's your guy, Matt Klein. Matt, I really do appreciate you, brother. Take care.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, Thrive Nation, on part 1 of today's show, we're talking about daily diligence. And on part 2 of today's show, we're talking about daily diligence. And maybe on part 3, we'll talk about daily diligence. And this is big. I'm going to show this video clip real quick. And I'm going to pull up the video. And Dr. Sherwood, you can analyze it there. Anthony, I'm going to have you come hop over our shoulder so you can look at this real quick here. My daughter, Havana, at the time of this video that I'm going to pull up here, she was, I think, 15 years old at the time of this video here. So here she is. She's in there. She's making calls. And the reason why my daughter, I made her, work in the call center for me for a long time. And again, she's 15 years old. So I sent her to go work in our elephant in the room call centers. Also had her work in the stores, was because I was trying to build up some core muscles. So Anthony, I'll have you go back to your core position, some muscles. And I want to talk about the muscles that I was trying to help her develop. The mental muscles, okay? And I'm going to use Pastor Jackson as an example. I'm going to use you as an example, Dr. Sherwood. We're going to talk about this daily diligence, okay? So a man by the name of Pastor Jackson, this guy, he built Sheridan Church. People go to Sheridan.church now and they go, wow, that's a thriving church. Wow, it's growing. That's exciting. But I don't think they know, and then we'll go to Dr. Sherwood to get his story on this. I don't think they know that you actually were picking kids up in a van and taking them to basketball practice. That was your initial outreach. You were a youth pastor. Tell us that story if you can, kind of the abbreviated edition, because I don't think a lot of people recognize that's how you essentially started your ministry.
Yeah, no, I cut my teeth in North Tulsa playing basketball with kids on the streets because I was a good basketball player and I needed a way to connect with them. And I had 2 things going for me. I had a basketball gym and I had a 15-passenger van. And so these kids were out on the streets in the summer in Tulsa. They're playing basketball. It's 110 degrees outside. I'd pull up. Now, I'm not giving advice right now. Don't pull up in a white van to a group of kids and say, hey, you guys want to get it? It worked for me. It was a different world back then. But they would hop in the van. And Clay, I did this. It took me 2 hours every Wednesday night to pick everybody up. Hour and a half to drop everybody off. We'd have midweek service, then we'd play basketball. So I was really dedicated because their parents weren't going to take them. They couldn't drive. And then I was doing this on Monday nights and then also on Friday nights. So I was like a professional van driver. And I'm going to give you the record because I think there's like a statute of limitations. So I don't think I can get in trouble now for it. But one night, I put 27 kids in a 15-passenger van. And so I think the statute of limitations has been passed on that illegal activity. But, it was discipline. I did it every week, every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday.
So, Dr. Sherwood, this is what I did. Then I'll let you one-up me here because I think people look at Sherwood.tv and they go, wow, this is a successful thing. What I did is I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. So someone says, how do you do that? Well, first off, you go apply at all the places. And Anthony, do you have any idea why Applebee's said yes when I applied?
Because they needed workers.
Yeah. Okay. Now, my boss, if you're watching this show, I want my people to know this. If you're watching this show, my boss at the time wasn't a big fan of that guy. Okay. I got a job at Target. Okay. Anthony, pop quiz. Why do you think Target hired me?
They needed some workers.
And I was not a big fan of that guy, but I got a deal where I could work the night shift. So I'm working. Everybody picture in your mind, Applebee's. I got a shift. I'm going from about 6 p.m. to about 10. Applebee's. Okay. Well, then what am I working at Target? my shift ends at Applebee's. I go to Target. I'm working the night shift, stocking the shelves. Okay. And by the way, I don't have an iPod to listen to anything I like. I'm not listening to a podcast. I'm
Right.
stocking shelves. Okay. Then I'm wrapping up my shift around 3 a.m. I go to bed. Okay. Then I wake up. I got a job at DirecTV. Anthony Pop quiz. Why did DirecTV hire me?
They needed someone like you.
Right. So I'm working at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And my whole thing is I'm like, I'm going to save up money until I can buy my first disc jockey equipment and start my own company. That was my path to building success. So when I had an opportunity, once I had started booking 2 to 3 events per weekend, and I told my wife, if we ever get to 2 or 3 events per weekend, I was 20 years old, by the way. If I can get to 2 or 3 events per weekend, every weekend, I will quit all these jobs and go full time working for myself. And so once I quit those jobs and went full time, I recognized to keep my pipeline full, I had to call every single business in the phone book. So I opened my phone book to the A section because it was alphabetical, and I began calling apartments. That's why a disproportionate amount of my first customers were apartments. I'm working with the Vintage on Yale. I'm not kidding. I'm working with the apartments by Oral Roberts University before they became like a Section 8 thing. I was doing all of those. I was doing the Vintage on Yale. I was doing these Claremore apartments. But I got asked, true story, to host the Zenith Awards, which is an award event they give away. It's an award event for America's best run apartment complexes. So
I was unaware of that.
yeah, and I got asked to host it because they're like, this guy's DJ'd for every apartment complex in America. I mean, this guy, so anyway, all I'm saying is I had to start with the phone book. But before I started with that, it was Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. So Dr. Sherwood, I want to get your thoughts on this. People go to Sherwood.tv and they know you're very successful. But do you remember when, back before you became a professional athlete, back before you became known as a fitness champion, do you remember when you first started lifting weights?
Nobody's asked me this in a while. So when I was in high school, I was a kind of a little dumpy, frumpy guy. I was a good athlete, but I wasn't like fit. I wasn't one of the cool kids, and I didn't even have a date to the senior prom, so I didn't even go. That's the truth. And so it was like almost a sad, pitiful story. And I wanted to play college baseball, but the problem is, coming from a small school like Berryhill, nobody offered me a scholarship. So one day, I decided, well, I'm going to drive up to Phillips University in Enid, Oklahoma, because they have a good NAIA program, and they've been to the College World Series a few times. So I went up there, and the coach was there, and I asked him if I could come try out, and I was a catcher. I said, look, I'll catch in the bullpen. He goes, you can stay here as much as you want, but you're never going to get a scholarship. You're never going to play. And I said, well, okay, fine. But I said, you're never going to see anybody that's ever going to work any harder to try to find somewhere. So honest to goodness, Clay and Pastor Jackson, I hit every day in practice until my hands bled. True story. I would allow them to hit, what a fungo bat is. I'd let them hit one hoppers to me and I'd block them with my body just to toughen myself up. And I caught in the bullpen that whole year, and I never asked for anybody to help me out with anything. And I swore right then I'd become the hardest worker that he'd ever seen. Well, long story short, that changed me because it took me 3 years to eventually work my way onto the field, where I was able to start in the senior year, was later able to go on and play professional baseball. And it was all because that you got to decide one day that no one's going to work harder than you are, what your passion is. And it wasn't just baseball, it was in life, man. Because like in life, if you don't work hard at it, don't expect somebody to give you something, man. You got to go out and take it, and you got to earn it. And even if you take it and earn it, you still might not get it, but you got to work harder. You got to be the person that's going to prove yourself above and beyond anybody else. It's not talent that gets just people through to success. And you all both know that. It is the willingness to drive through the pain of sacrifice, of going through the inabilities you have and fighting a way to figure it out. And so that's in life today. And there's a reason that, I don't even know what success is, but there's a reason we've had the ability to create a lot of influence around the country and world now. And I think we're in every state perhaps now, which is pretty cool. And 25,000 people later, and we're in a couple countries. I go right back to the hard work. And there's not a person that's listening right now that can't do the same dadgum thing. But you got to work at it. You have to work at it. And it's competing with yourself every day. And as a Christian guy, and Pastor Jackson, and Clay, this, it's almost like you ask God to strengthen you when you don't have any. And that's a constant theme. because I can't make it. I can't do it. But with him, I can. And it doesn't mean you're not going to have troubles. But you mentioned earlier, like, uh, work your muscles. You know, your face the muscle, your musculoskeletal system's muscle, your brain's a muscle, your emotions are a muscle. And the only way I know how to get resilience is to work through it.
Now, I'm going to walk through this real quick here because this is something I had to teach myself. And I don't know that this is, I know it's teachable, but I want to make sure people can really break this down. I had to teach myself how to encourage myself. The non-Christian translation that I always say in my office is I always tell, myself, like James, who works back here behind me, James will ask me sometimes like, hey, what pro tips do you have? And I say, well, you have to find a way to kick your own ass. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's probably a different way to say that. But you got to find a way to like inspire yourself because let's be real. I mean, the things that we have to do sometimes aren't the most fun. So for me right now, I'm dealing with taxes. Okay. So we had an employee this morning who claims that, she's doing end of the year taxes and she claims that she didn't get her last paycheck. And let's just say that's true or that isn't true. I'm going, no problem. Let's deal with it. Well, it turns out, she did get the check and that's okay. I'm glad. But the multi-page email talking about how she didn't get the paycheck, it can't be unsent. And so I just process it as like, okay, that's an employee who thinks they didn't get paid. So I asked Manna, I said, Manna, could you connect with the person and make sure we paid them? And it turns out they did, and they apologized and whatever. Okay. So today at about 7:30 tonight-ish, I'm going to have a conversation with an employee who's saying wild things to customers at one of our businesses. And that's not really fun, but that's part of the game. So if we look at this picture of this phone book I put on the screen here, this is when I could first afford to buy a full-page Yellow Page ad. Because up to that point, I wasn't buying an ad. I was just getting a phone book and calling through it. So I didn't have an ad. I was just calling through alphabetically people in the phone books. I was so excited. And my wife is like, why are you so excited to be paying this guy $2,500 a month for the Yellow Page ad? I'm like, because it's the first time we can afford a full page ad. I was excited because up to that point, I was randomly calling businesses out of the phone book. And with this ad, I can start out people calling me. I call that the tipping point. So Pastor Jackson, I want to go to your thoughts, and we'll go to Anthony for any questions we might have here. At Sheridan Church, you're to a point now where we're kind of getting to that tipping point. And you say, what's the tipping point? I'll pull it up on the screen here. The tipping point is where people start to reach out to you more than you're reaching out to them, which is very different than when you're going door to door in your van, picking people up. There is a tipping point. So now people are going, Pastor Jackson, could you speak at this place? Yeah. Pastor Jackson, could you serve on President Trump's, faith advisory team? Hey, Pastor Jackson, could I come speak at your church? Visitors are showing up from all over the country, all over Tulsa, and now you've got to a tipping point. Can you talk about just the mindset that you've had to have, Pastor Jackson, to coach yourself from where there's virtually no momentum and no traction to now where it's flipped and you've got the momentum?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to piggyback on what Dr. Sherwood had said is you just have to have the mentality that you're not going to quit, that you're going to work harder than you did the previous day, because there's times I can only speak, ministry-wise. Some Sundays are amazing. Other Sundays, they're not so amazing. Some Sundays you have great attendance, and other Sundays it's a little bit of lower attendance. You can go through cycles as a church, and just like businesses go through cycles. And it's in those seasons where it's not the greatest cycle, that's really where you experience the most growth, because you're being stretched personally, and it prepares you for the next season. And so I just think that mentality, I can't remember who said it. I think it was maybe Winston Churchill. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. That's just kind of the mentality you have to have. And there are plenty of times that I wanted to, quote unquote, throw in the towel as a pastor because it was not, we weren't at the tipping point. But you just keep pushing, you keep pushing, you keep pushing, and finally you start to have some breakthrough. And then once it breaks through, it's kind of like the floodgates open up and you're just along for the ride.
So you two are at a point where you've reached the tipping point. And you're so much momentum is being generated, and you're still humble, hardworking guys, but you've got to a point where more people are reaching out to you at Sherwood.tv. People are going to Sheridan.church. And Anthony over here, he is in the grinding phase, which, by the way, that's where my mind will never leave. I like the grind. I like the grind, but Anthony's in the grinding phase. So just so we're clear, Anthony is doing a lot of wonderful things, and he's en route to becoming what I would consider to be a consultant who will do very well for us. But he's kind of, where Andrew runs around my office, and he's been here for 9 years, and he's rocking and rolling, and Anthony is working his way through that system. And so when you're working through that system, there's a lot of explosions, there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of rejection, because there's just a lot going on. So I wanted to have Anthony provide an opportunity, Anthony, where you could ask Dr. Sherwood any question you might have about getting to that tipping point, or maybe a question you have for Pastor Jackson, because you are working your way through that. Do you have any question for Pastor Jackson or Dr. Sherwood?
This question could apply to both. I understand that emotions can be used for creative ability. So working through frustration, how have you experienced frustration, but you utilized it to actually become better and to push through and to grow into a version of yourself you haven't reached yet?
We'll go to Dr. Sherwood first.
I'll use a line, and I'm going to use the exact same language, so don't get offended by this, that John Jacobs, the founder of the Power Team, told me. And I've seen it be true. So he called me in the office one day. This has probably been 25 years ago. I don't remember where I was in the world. But he said, Mark, you're a talented guy. I'm like, yes, sir. I didn't know him that well. Here's the famous John Jacobs, right? And he said, you're a talented guy. You can probably do anything you want. And I said, well, thank you. And he said, well, but you need to remember this. And I want you to remember this the rest of your life. 2 things. Number 1, don't believe your bio. I thought, well, that's pretty good. Remember who you are, like you just said. But he said this other thing to me that it's changed my life, and I'll tell you how. It's kept me going. He said, you're like that baboon in the zoo. You're a strong guy. You can climb high. People want to see you jump from limb to limb to see what you can do. All people are watching. But he said, remember, the higher you go in that tree, the more of your ass they will see. And I thought about that. And I thought, you know what? That's right. Because when you're climbing up those trees and working that hard, and Anthony, you're grinding away, the harder you work at that, the more you go, the more people are going to criticize you. You're going to have rejection and hurt, and people are going to talk behind your back and all that stuff. And you just got to keep your eye on the prize, man. Do what you're called to do the whole time, realizing that the more influential you become, the more rocks people are going to throw at you. And I think a greatest example of this is Jesus himself. Nobody left when he's on the cross, man. He's there, and everybody's turned their back on him. And I suppose that's part of life, part of death, part of growth, the whole bit. But ultimately, that's what keeps me going. I realize that I'm fulfilling the call in my life, whatever that is, whether it be Clay or Pastor Jackson or Anthony, it doesn't matter. You continue to keep your eye on what you're supposed to do and realize that's just part of it. But you do get stronger.
Yes.
Even though people see more of your backside. And I'll leave it at that.
I'll just have one note, and I'll go to Jackson here. Tom Brady, one of the things that Tom Brady, I really admired about his football career. And again, we might not agree on politics or religion or these kind of things, but I want to focus in on the mindset here. Tom Brady was known as always the first guy to practice, the last guy to leave, and 100% locked in. And he chose to use his Hall of Fame speech not as a time to celebrate his achievements, but to sort of just let you look into his mindset a little bit. So I'm going to play this little clip here. Here we go. This is Tom Brady at the NFL Hall of Fame induction.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard when you're on your way to practice, weighed down with all your gear, and it's 90 degrees out and all the other kids are at the pool or at the beach, and your body is already completely exhausted from workouts in 2-a-days. It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again. But understand this, life is hard. No matter who you are, There are bumps and hits and bruises along the way. And my advice is to prepare yourself, because football lessons teach us that success and achievement come from overcoming adversity.
And I just think that that is a powerful mindset that we want to have. And again, I can just say in my own life, I mean, Jackson, you've had an opportunity to kind of see behind the scenes today a lot of the things we're working on. And, you know, I mean, it's not the most exciting thing for me to discover that our software we use for one of our companies, the credit card that I use, I got an updated credit card for one of the companies I'm involved in. And so, you know, someone has to manually update the credit card that is used for the software 5 times.
Yep.
Somebody has to update the title tags and permalinks on the podcasts because we have a new updated version of our podcast uploader. So I had to follow up today, and I discovered they were not being updated properly. So we had to go back and fix that. It wasn't the most exciting yesterday morning before church organizing my plan for the week. It's not the most exciting developing an 8-hour plan for removing weeds from our office. No, I'm serious, because we had a different landscaping operation we were using a couple years back, and they were absolutely raking us over the coals and charging us 3 to 4 times more than they should have been. And so I told my wife, I will make a plan this year so that we can do it within this budget, and it's not, you know, 5 times more than it should be or 4 times more than it should be. It's not an exciting thing. My wife wants me to remove the weeds, but not use a weed killer that's bad for the environment. So I'm testing a concoction that involves soap. I'm serious. It's like soap and like vinegar and salt.
This might work.
And I'm spraying this stuff.
Hey, you've gone green, man.
I'm spraying this, and I'm trying to figure out, does it work? Does it not work? I mean, it's not the most exciting driving at 8 o'clock tonight. I started my work day before 5 today, and I'll be at 8 o'clock tonight driving by one of the stores to make sure the lights are working properly. As specified by the landlord. It's not the most exciting today to discover that the water was turned off at our downtown Elephant in the Room location, and we had to figure out a way to get that fixed. It has to do with utilities and some construction that's going on. It's not the most exciting to discover why our voice, our call recording system, our Ethernet phone system wasn't working properly on one of the lines. It's not the most exciting to discover that I've got a former employee, being very vague here, who's decided to devote his entire life to compete with one of my current customers in a very nefarious way. That's not exciting, but that's my Monday. So I just want to get your thoughts on this, Jackson, because if someone out there who wants to have success,
Yeah.
we're going to have to get used to this daily diligence and the detail. What advice would you have for someone watching today's show?
You know, I always ask my kids, what's the key to success in life? And they know it by heart. It's an old Eastern saying. The key to success in life is chop wood, carry water. And what that means is you just do the basics consistently well and over time. By doing the basic, mundane, boring things like chopping wood, carrying water, you will eventually have true success. Everyone wants I use it just the terms. I love the game of basketball. Everyone wants to do what Michael Jordan did, but not everybody's willing to do what Michael Jordan did outside of the basketball game when it came to practice, when it came to his diet, when it came to being in the gym, the dedication. And so the key to Michael Jordan being the greatest basketball player of all time was he chopped wood and he carried water every single day, better than everybody else when it came to just doing the simple things, the basic things consistently well.
Now, the one thing I want to share, I want to get Pastor Jackson's take on this, and I'll go back to you, Dr. Sherwood. This is big. Is it says here in the Bible, this is Matthew from the Bible, chapter 6, okay? And verse 14, it says, "For if we forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if we forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward." Now, Jesus could pick up on the countenance of people. Now, you say, what is the word countenance? The countenance is the mental disposition of somebody, okay? So we talk about countenance. You say, what does countenance mean? So when I work with music artists, okay, and I was just dealing yesterday with an artist, and I was explaining on this particular line, you're saying it, but you sound bored. And they're like, I'm not bored. I'm like, yes, but you sound bored. And I could pick up on the negative waves. And the reason why the person sounded negative on their own music was they had recorded the same line 20 times and they kept mispronouncing it. So they sounded negative on their own song. So if you come across as being negative, another example, dealing with an employee today about the paycheck. If I'd called the employee and said, hey, tell me about your paycheck. What's going on? And I sounded frustrated, that wouldn't have gone well. But instead, I just said, hey, your paycheck here, I know this is a pre 6 a.m. phone call, probably not the most exciting time to talk to you about your check, but I needed to wrap up this call before I get over to the office. So just tell me, I got a long email. Tell me what you think happened. And they go, well, you know how you guys are. I mean, I'm just one of the people here and I didn't get paid. And I'm like, no, you really, really do matter to me. So I just want to know, what do you think happened? A good heart posture. I'm just telling you how I had to do it previous to 6 a.m. And they go, well, I mean, I got shorted an entire check and it's just frustrating. If you've been here long enough, you would think, the whole thing. I'm going 100% sincere between you, me, God, anybody listening to this call. Nobody has intentionally shorted you on your check. And it is my highest desire to make sure that you have everything that you perceive that you're owed. And I will put $100 extra amount on your check. And Anthony, you might have seen it or might not have seen it in the meeting, but I look over. So we have our meeting and I look over and I go, did she call you about that thing? Did we work that out? And she said, yep. And I go, look, eye contact. And they go, yep. And then afterwards, they made a little bit, because they know that I put an extra $100 bonus on their check, even though they were in the wrong, because I don't want their heart posture to change. So today, you could tell through eye contact, they were very much appreciative. And they called a few people and apologized. But I'm saying we got to all make sure we're giving ourselves a checkup from the neck up. So Jackson, I want to get your thoughts on Jesus. He could pick up people's countenance. What does that mean, someone's countenance?
Oh my goodness, it's just kind of the aura that somebody has. I mean, you've been around people, they don't even have to say anything, and just their presence makes you happy or gives you joy. And then you've been around other people, they don't have to say anything, and you feel like you just ran a marathon and you don't know what just happened to you because the presence. And so that presence is exuberated from the way we think, and it's just who we are. And that's why, it's so important that we have a positive outlook. That doesn't mean everything's great in our lives, but we can have a positive outlook no matter what we're going through. And people really do pick up on it. You can tell if a married couple is fighting, even if they're smiling,
right?
Because
you can pick it up.
You can be like, I'm not stepping into this,
right? You can pick it up. Now, again, for everybody out there, I'm just trying to help somebody. I'm not saying that we're going to have the absence of frustration. What I'm saying for anybody watching today's show is you're going to have frustration. So to me, for anybody watching today's show, you're like, you had to talk to someone before 6 a.m. about a paycheck? Oh, yeah. Someone says, you mean to tell me that you had a payment problem with 5 of your locations? Oh, yeah. Someone says, you mean to tell me the water went out with your store? Oh, yeah. You mean to tell me that you have to drive personally to the store at 8 o'clock tonight to verify that a neon sign is up to code? Oh, yeah. Someone says, you mean, and so there's all of that. And so what someone might see is different than that. And I just want to encourage everybody out there. It's that daily diligence, and then it's that checkup from the neck up we have to do. Anthony, we have time for one more question. If you have a question for Dr. Sherwood, if you have a follow-up question or a question, because again, Anthony's like right in that flow right now where he is doing it. He's on the phone with people. And sometimes when you're on the phone with people, at least in my day, people will say mean things, not nice things. There's rejection. There's a lot of monotony. There's a lot of tediousness. There's a lot of, any final question you have for Dr. Sherwood?
Just personal, like this question is more so like y'all are men of faith. So when you embark on a journey for a day, 2 or 3, and you don't have that energy to give to the people, how do you work through that? Because that but they don't know that you're doing this thing. The thing is fasting. So if you do that, you don't have the energy to give that you typically do. So how do you work through that?
So you're saying that if you're fasting, how do you work through maybe lack of energy from fasting?
Yeah, so like we use mental energy. We don't use physical energy, mental energy. So the mental capacity, how do you work through not having that energy there or the source to push through.
I know. I'll say this. I have 100% no advice on that. So I have no idea.
There's a book right next to me that does.
Oh, The Power of Positive Thinking?
Yeah.
I do read this book. I do.
This book actually answers your question.
Really?
Yeah. It literally answers your question.
Okay.
You have much more in you than what you realize. You kind of, all of us are like this. We kind of set our own limitations, and then we discover that's not actually our limitations, whether it is our emotional, physical, spiritual. There's always more in us, and it just takes a mentality of perseverance. And, I always put it like this. You have to be able to compartmentalize what you're experiencing and not put it on other people. That's why I always say leadership is a lot like being a duck out on the water. On the surface, you're calm, you're cool, you're collected, everything's fine. But underneath the water, you're paddling like crazy just to stay above.
Yeah.
And but nobody sees the paddling under the water.
That's good.
They see the composure above the water, because if you as a leader are freaking out like you're going to drown, nobody's going to follow you. And so you have to have that ability to compartmentalize, and that just takes time. That's something you develop.
Now, Dr. Sherwood, closing thoughts here. We go to Sherwood.tv. I mean this sincerely. I'm going to fire off some examples. I've got 5 kids. I've had a few of my kids that have gone to Sherwood.tv, and Dr. Sherwood's helped, my own kids optimize their health and lose weight, get in the best shape. I mean, losing north of 20 pounds. It's pretty incredible at Sherwood.tv. Friends of mine, actually clients of mine who are friends of mine, they've gone to you. Multiple people have lost more than 50 pounds, And these are people that you look at them today and you're like, wow, you lost 50 pounds? How's that possible? I mean, and so there's so many transformative things you've done to help my clients, my family, my friends optimize their health. In the final 60 seconds we have, tell us about the solutions you have there at Sherwood.tv. That's Sherwood.tv.
Well, kind of to parlay on what we talked about, we teach people really to understand who they are and to love God, really, to learn to love themselves, and then learn to love other people. It's got to be upward, inward, than outward. If it's not like that, you're not going to be successful. You can spend time spinning around things, and life is not only physical, it's emotional and spiritual too. So when people come to us, we're getting all those areas because I want them to have a great life. I mean, it's not about living longer, it's living better. So I don't want them to have excess fat tissue, excess inflammation. I don't want them to be distracted with the biggest distractors we have on our planet today, with is death, disease, sickness, and lack. And so we try to get them onto the positive area, just love them in that way. And it's like almost the Samaritan getting in the ditch, with the person that gets beats up, and life will beat you up. So people come to us all beat up. So we're going to teach them how to take care of themselves and how to live those good quality lives, because I don't want people to become victims of the current society we have, which profits off of sickness.
Dr. Sherwood, you're a beautiful man, and I want all listeners to know the only reason we don't have you on the show just because you're a beautiful man and just because you're a sponsor. We have you on the show because you're a sponsor and you're a beautiful man and you know what you're talking about. So I encourage everyone to go to Sherwood.tv. Dr. Sherwood, have a great rest of your day there, sir. Anthony, great questions. Pastor Jackson, great responses. Appreciate everybody here. And for everybody out there, if you say, hey, I want to change my life, go to thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com. We have in-person workshops. We got Tim Tebow coming in June. We have Eric Trump joining us in September. You say, I still want to change my life more. Go to Sherwood.tv. You say, I want to change my life even more. Go to Sheridan.church. You say, I want to continue to change my life. I want to make a 360-degree life change. We would say, that's just going the same direction. Okay, I want to make a 180-degree life change. Anyway, so anybody out there, if you want to change your life, make a 180-degree life change, we've given you some solutions. Thank you, Dr. Sherwood, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, see you later.
All right. This year's sales for this week.
So this is the same week last year. Do you see the difference? Look.
Wait a second, I can't really tell. One is...
Look.
Michael, can we just I just want to get it. Jason, can you kind of pull this end maybe, just so you can see it? Let's kind of pull it that way. Let's get the length. That's more of a. I can't tell without the length. It's hard to tell.
Look at that. Okay.
So that was last year's sales.
This is last year's sales, and the total is a mere $4,711.73. Same week this year, 2015. The total is, read it, Michael.
$11,313.50.
Oh, boom! There it is.
What?
Awesome.
I baked from home for years as I was raising my children and teaching. And it was there that people continually said year after year, Kat, you really need to go into business. You should open a bakery. And I'm thinking, I don't have time to open a bakery. I'm raising 2 kids. I'm getting my master's degree. Not to mention, I know nothing about business. So here I am, I'm super thrilled. My little bakery is being built in Bixby and all is well. We move into the new bakery. The excitement is like over the top. And 3 weeks into it, my husband and I separate. Talk about a blow. That was the most difficult thing I had ever experienced to date. I had that blow, and I did have to make a decision. Am I gonna be a big girl? Am I gonna get better, or am I gonna give up? I couldn't give up. I'm a divorced woman. I have to earn a living. And so 18-hour days, bring it on. Let's do this thing. 4 years later, my business partner's husband, Deemer, asked me a question one day. He said, Kat, are you gonna continue treating this business like a hobby? Or are you gonna treat it like a business? That was huge for me. That was super significant in pushing me to get help, pushing me to find a way to make it work. Through several people encouraging me to become a thriver with Thrive 15 was without question the pivotal moment in my business. I went from lacking some confidence to becoming empowered through knowledge of how to grow a business. Our sales are 50% plus what they were a year ago. I feel I've regained confidence in myself as an entrepreneur and in my business. Becoming educated through Thrive 15 is what made the difference.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like him most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was, anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys.
Gentlemen, let me introduce you to the grill gun.
Hi, I'm Bob Healy. I'm the inventor of the grill gun and the sous vide gun.
Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out, because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow is going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrivetime show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built a $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He has inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also has, he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
And now the best-selling author of The Carnivore Diet and the multiple-time Joe Rogan guest, Dr. Sean Baker, joins our 2-day interactive business growth and life optimization workshop. Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong, because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestselling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And so it says Tulsa, Jerusalem. I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa, Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrivetime Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when? June 27th and 28th. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show Business Workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping EOFire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home, to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show Business Workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
Thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time with more enthusiasm.
Thrivetimeshow.com.
Everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment,
We own it.
Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say. Whoa.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done this show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hours. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
First of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a
All
guy
right.
by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business, and I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I am not using, and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. It is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years in business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence. That businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can do these things. There's stuff that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else can do it for you.
I can see the marketing working. And it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun, it's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live 2 years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrivetime workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere of Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business. Bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow our business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business, as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody.
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.
Hey, Flyover family, come join us June the 27th and 28th, 2024 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We're going to be there with Clay Clark and an amazing group of individuals that have made such a difference in so many people's lives.
Do you want to increase your production in a job? Do you want to make more sales? Do you want to own your own business? Do you want to have breakthroughs financially? The key to that is knowledge.
Clay Clark is anointed to help people in business. We've watched him over the last couple of years and we've been blown away. He's part owner of over 160 businesses, $2.4 billion in sales.
So before politics and the Great Reset came into Clay's life, he had the #1 rated Apple podcast. And he interviewed people like Anthony Robbins, Seth Godin, the top authors, top business minds in the world. At this specific event, there was an interesting cast of characters that come from gangs to American Idol.
Some of the guests that are going to be there: Michael Levine, Colton Dixon, Peter Taunton, John Lee Dumas, Mondo de la Vega,
and Tim Tebow. They're there to share what they've done and their breakthroughs and what their story is. And then Clay lays his map of business success, calls the path for every person to follow.
So you may be sitting there thinking, okay, I get it. What do I have to do? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you get there, the tickets are $250 or whatever you can afford. Yes, you got that right. $250 or whatever you can afford. You can name your price. So there are no excuses. You have to join us there. There are only a few VIP tickets left, like David said, special dinner and special time with the speakers. That is $500 while they last. So $500, only a few left if you want a VIP ticket. We want to meet these speakers as well, so we got VIP tickets.
I want to meet Tim Tebow.
I do too. The date is June the 27th and 28th, 2024 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Go to thrivetimeshow.com to get your tickets.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson here with the Thrivetime Show. As you can see behind me, we've got all kinds of energy going on. People are starting to show up for the conference, and it is hot in this place. We got grill guns over here. We've got people playing the drums. We've got a fire breather, and man, people are so excited as they come in.
The conference is kicked off. This house is packed. We've got Aaron Hansis with Shotguns up there. We've got Steve Currington with Total Linting Concepts up there talking about what is possible when you just implement, when you do the proven system. It's so exciting. People are going crazy. Now, Michael Levine, writer of many PR books, the man who represented people like Michael Jackson, Barbra Streisand, and George Bush. He's speaking to the people here at our conference, talking about branding. One of the greatest branding experts alive today is here at our conference, talking to entrepreneurs. We just wrapped up day one. It was incredible. We had some remarkable speakers. Michael Levine. We just finished with a lady named Jill Donovan, who owns a company called Rustic Cuff, talking about the power of the Dream 100. I cannot wait to see what tomorrow holds.
Hey guys, Luke Erickson with the Thrivetime Show here with you. It is day 2 and the energy is high. People are so excited to be showing up. The team is ready. Come on, let's see what it's like to go on in for day 2. Follow me. People are so excited to be here for day 2. It is going to be incredible. Cannot wait to see what today has in store.
Right now, here at the conference, we've broken into groups going over search engine optimization. And I know for most of us, myself included, if you hear that term, you go, what is that? What does that mean? That's too techie for me. Well, our experts are breaking it down for people so that you can clearly understand how to come up top in Google. It's doable. It's possible.
Now we're in the middle of a break, and what we like to do is we like to give you as much tangible and relevant information from about the start of the hour for 45 minutes. Then we take approximately a 15-minute break to allow people to connect with other entrepreneurs around them, bathroom breaks, and also use this time to just really digest all of the good information that you're receiving the whole time. Right behind me, we've got Bob with his grill gun, melting an ice sculpture. It is awesome. The ice sculpture represents our life, right? It's here for a time, but we all need to have the sense of urgency to implement the things that we're learning so that we can make the most of the time that we have. We are outside. You can see a line behind me. What's going on is that we partner with different companies to help them implement the proven systems over and over and over again. And one of those companies is Master Machine. And so what we like to do is partner with these companies to also help them give samples to other people as they come to the conference and truly get their name out. I just wanted to recap some of the amazing things that have happened today. We've had entrepreneurs like Paul Hood with Hood CPAs. We've had Jill Donovan and Michael Levine come up and just impart so much wisdom and knowledge. We've got an incredible giveaway for one of our TVs. Thrive Nation, one of the things that we love most about our business conferences is that we want every entrepreneur to leave with their questions answered. So what we do is we let them put the questions up on the board here so that they can ask their specific questions, and Clay will not end the conference until every question is answered.
Behind this, Clay Clark is answering all the different questions that entrepreneurs have brought to the conference. Whenever someone comes here and starts to hear this information, especially for the first time, it just brings about so much anticipation of wanting to actually implement the proven systems and processes. And so Clay always wants to make sure that he answers all of their questions so that they are the most set up for success to be able to go home and start implementing. If you have any questions, email us at info@thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Wes Carter. I'm one of the shareholders at Winters & King. My favorite thing that Thrive has helped me accomplish here in our firm is thinking a little bit outside the box. They do SEO, they do printing, they help us with a lot of things from the day-to-day marketing for the firm, but they also help us think of things that as attorneys we probably wouldn't normally think of that help us market our services to our clients. One of the things I love about working with Thrive is that they make it enjoyable to actually do work with them. It's not dry, it's usually fun, but it's always very enjoyable and practical. They give me things and ideas that I can put into place. It's not just some theoretical spiel that they give me. We get practical steps that we work on together to do my job better. So me personally, I would easily recommend Thrive 15 services to my friends, my families. I recommend them to my clients. I think they do a good job. They're passionate. They care about their clients. And I think it's actually a valuable service they provide to people that are in the business world.
My name is Jeff Thomas. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. It's all about getting to the grindstone. It is about putting it's one thing to have a specific vision or a dream, but knowledge without application isn't knowledge at all. That's nothing. Really funny. The atmosphere is very lively. Everybody that is working for Clay is very upbeat and not tired, not sluggish, not complaining, not whining. They don't have anything to do with those types of characteristics. It's all about getting to the grind and having fun while you do it. I haven't actually been to any conferences in the past, but what I will say from what I've seen on YouTube and what from other friends have told me is this isn't like a motivational kind of thing to just, hoo-hoo, rah-rah, get you motivated, but it's like practical steps that if you do take them, which most people aren't willing to do, then you will grow and you'll achieve the specific things that you want. Well, for one thing, I would say that this isn't necessarily for everyone. So if you're not willing to work, this isn't for you. But I will say that if you are willing to work and you're just getting started, but you have actually taken a step in that direction, then this will actually help you grow further exponentially than you could ever imagine.
My name is Taylor Hall. I'm the general manager of the Tulsa Oilers professional hockey team. Our goal every night here at the BOK Center is to try to fill the seats with lots of people and create an exciting environment so when somebody comes to a game, they want to come back. Working with Clay and the staff at Thrive, they've really helped us in many, many ways. Website and graphic design and video production and a lot of things that go along. And a lot of businesses, including ours, doesn't have a staff or a full-time videographer or graphic designer. But the biggest thing that we noticed was the needle mover. More sales, more attendance, more successes in business. We had a record year last season working with Clay for the first time. Our average attendance is higher than it's ever been. So there was a lot of really cool things that we did and they worked. That's the nice thing about working with Clay and the team over there. It's just not one person, you get the entire team. If you need video design and editing and production, they've got that. If you need graphic design, if you need some coaching, your salespeople and call scripts, PR, they offer all that. Clay was instrumental in helping guiding us and getting us on the right track so that we could, really, raise the bar and become ultra successful. So it's been an amazing experience for us.
My name is Caitlin. I own a tumbling gym called Justice Tumbling Company in Tulsa. Working with Clay is so helpful, just being diligent with everything and making sure we execute our goals and just really make things happen. It's fun, it's hype, it really gets you energized and going, it just makes you really want to work. To get the momentum going, to really just get that buzz, just really give you the energy to get up and make it happen.
I'm Bob Healy. I'm in the charcoal grilling industry, and the name of my business is Grill Blazer. How will I apply what I've learned so far into my business? I'm actually a client of Thrive 15, and I learn so much from what I'm learning at this conference and from my regular weekly attendance that it's helping me establish the business and get it off the ground. Clay's presentation style is just blatant disregard for what anybody wants. He just has fun. It's him. Everything that you see is authentically Clay. It's a great deal of fun. Everybody enjoys it. They know when they walk in, they think they're coming into a carnival, and frankly, they are. It's just great fun. There's not another conference like it. You just don't go to a carnival atmosphere and learn like you do here at a Thrive conference. It's great. The reason people should attend at least one of these conferences is because it's common sense. And everybody's fed an entire line about the way you should run a business, but until you actually experience running a business, which is candidly what you learn here, how to run a business, you don't know what you're doing.
My name is Tyler Hastings, and this is my wife, Rachel, and our company is Delricht Research out of New Orleans. During our time working with Thrive, we've had numerous successes. When we first started, we were working with one physician. We had one research site, and we were seeing on average, between 10 and 15 patients a week. Since working with Thrive in the last 18 months, we now have 4 research sites. We work with over 5 physicians, and on average, we're now seeing over 60 patients per week. Recently, we've been the top enroller worldwide in 7 studies, which is just incredible considering where we were 2 years ago, 18 months ago.
Thrive really differs from the other conferences that we've been to and the other kind of programs that we've been through because they actually really practice what they preach and they implement the same systems and the processes that they teach you about, and they give you real life examples that have really worked for them and show you with the training how to implement that yourself. For example, Tyler and I actually got the opportunity to come out to Tulsa, and we're fortunate enough that the Thrive team took us out to some of the businesses that they own, and we really got to see in real life, real time, some of the systems and processes, and it was just incredible. A real life example of some of the businesses and the things that they're implementing.
Having a coach is important to us. They act as not only an accountability factor, but they're someone we can talk to on a daily basis as we go through the problems of running a business that inevitably come up. They always understand what we're going through, and they're always there to help us or guide us through the problems that we experience. The best part of our experience working with Thrive has just been seeing our relationship grow. So at each step as our business grows, they have something else to provide us with. They've got the resources, whether it be marketing, graphic design, website development, or even into accounting practices. Maybe we need a new insurance policy. They have someone they can connect us with, or they have the direct resource we need to speak with for any of the problems we face. If someone's thinking about signing up for the coaching program, I would highly recommend that they call in for a free 30-minute coaching session and see exactly what the team can do for you. Just speak with someone, let them know what you're going through, and I think you'll find that, regardless of what you need, there's someone there that can help you.
Clay's presentation style is very real and raw. It just gets real down to the bone of it and the real purpose of it. There's no fluffy vagueness about it, So he really gets to the point. I'm always reminded about how important it is to be intentional and to really pay attention to how you schedule your time and really honor it. Because whatever gets scheduled gets done. That's what he said from Lee Cockrell. So just constantly hearing that and getting reminded helps me to reinforce that in my own life. It always helps to get an outside perspective, and especially from a guy that's grown so many multi-million-dollar businesses. It doesn't hurt. So.
My name is Nick Guajardo. I heard about the Thrivetime show workshop through Andy Matherin. He is my Andy Matherin and Larry Montgomery. They're my bosses at Restore Home Health. So I work with a home health company called Restore Home Health, and my role is pretty much to bring in business. So I was hoping to learn kind of the sales process on top of just kind of the responsibilities, and help understand what it looks like on the SEO side, and just kind of an all around what it looks like to own a business, because that's something I want to do in the future for sure. How I would describe the atmosphere here at Thrive is high energy, great professionalism, great people. It's a place you definitely want to visit and be at. Clay's delivery style, humorous, professional, hilarious. He does it. I haven't seen someone do it better. So he does a great job. Most valuable thing I've learned so far, a lot of it has been extremely valuable. But one thing that's really stuck out to me is learning the SEO stuff. I mean, that is, I think, things you don't really even think about, and then you hear it, and you think you know it, but you don't know it. So I feel like that was the most valuable. Well, they're missing out on just what comes down to just basic applications to be a business owner. I mean, I feel like it's like an absolute necessity, to come here and learn the ins and outs, and maybe come here once or twice if they take good notes, that kind of thing. Why? It's the experience here and what you can learn, like absolutely.
So marketing and SEO seemed like something that would be very scary, but then in the way that Clay and his team described it became very clear and concise, and something that's very accessible to any business owner. I've learned a lot about marketing at this conference, and a lot about business management and HR, really everything, the key components of anybody's business. They're going to give you the best tools to be successful in it. So most workshops or conferences can be really boring, really one note, or they just seem so theatrical that it's a joke and it's not even giving you the tools that you need or that you came there for. But here it's still high energy, it's still fun, everything's to the point, but it's very professional, and you're missing out on easy steps to use in your business that are very accessible and very clear.
My name is Abigail McCarter. The best thing I've learned so far is definitely like organization, schedule-wise, always keeping a to-do list, keeping your calendar organized. I'm kind of all over the place, so that's always good to know. So Clay's presentation style and the atmosphere is electric. It's so energetic, it's so fun. Clay's hilarious, but also knows a ton, so it's just really great all around. This conference is much different than any other conference I've gone to, again, because it's fun. Like a lot of other conferences, it's like really quiet, really cold, and you just kind of get bored. But this one, you're like always engaged, you're always learning something, and the staff is amazing. They're always super helpful, so it's just been really great.
My name is Clint Howard. We're a personal training and fitness training facility. Oh wow, I'm learning a ton. Like this morning so far has been search engine optimization. So really just the importance of being at the top of Google, how Google works, and why it's so important to go out and get video reviews and testimonials and getting Google reviews. And so all those things we can take back and really apply that like immediately. So it's really cool to see not only how to do it, but really the relevance and importance of it for your long-term strategy of your business. Now, it's amazing. Actually, on the way in this morning and yesterday, I was videoing as I was walking in the front entrance. And actually, I go to a lot of seminars. I go to a lot of conferences, masterminds. I've been doing that since I was like 22 years old, so gosh, almost 20 years now. And this is by far the most entertaining. Not only the content's amazing, but Clay and you guys do a great job of mixing in edutainment, entertainment where it's fun, it's fresh, it's lively. You never get bored. And I heard a study one time that the reason that children learn so much quicker is because it's fun, learning is fun. And so obviously Clay has nailed that, where it's very fun to be here and keeps you awake, keeps you energized. So I'm having a blast. Yeah, I think any business owner or someone that wants to own a business or considering starting a business should definitely come. I know that I was referred here by friends of mine and clients of mine, and I've referred other people. Again, just to understand what it takes to make a business successful, to have a good time, obviously, like I was just saying, have fun, and network. There's a lot of people here you can learn from, and there's a lot of breaks you can talk to other people. So I think this is a must-attend for anybody that owns a business or that wants to start a business.
My name's Jamie Fagel. I'm with Jameson Fine Cabinetry. I heard about the conference through Andrew. He's the coach that I deal with here at the Thrive. The most valuable piece I found, even working with Andrew, but it's been solidified when it came here, was you got to actually do the things that they're telling you. With no action, you're not going to get anything from it. I would highly recommend this to almost anybody in business today. I have recommended it to some of my other business partners. It's phenomenal. It's really something that, if you want to start a business, the old way of doing things is gone. This is what you got to do. It's the only way it'll work.
Hey, this is Charles and Amber Koloff. We're the owners of Koloff Fitness.
The way we're able to do that is working with Clay for the last 3 years. He has really readjusted our thinking and taught us that our business is here to serve us. And by doing that, we're able to live the lifestyle we want and take off on a random vacation last minute. So we had totally planned on being at the conference. So wish we could be there and meet all of you. We know you're having a great time. So
yes, Clay in the last 3 years has helped us build all the necessary systems, checklists, workflows, task lists, time blocks, audits that are always running, and the right capable lieutenants to keep track of all that so that you too can get time freedom, financial freedom. And that's what we have done, and Clay has helped us do. We've got multiple companies in multiple states, and they're all doing very well, getting ready to go 2 more locations in this next year. And Koloff Fitness has a really big future. We're teaming up with a couple other groups, and we should scale the company here shortly. Hopefully we'll open like 50 locations in the next 10 years. So, but yeah, we're on the way. We're gonna probably more than double our company, maybe triple our company in the next 8 to 9 months. And it's just awesome. God is working in our business, and we're making Jesus and changing lives. We're a strong Christian company that focuses on making Jesus famous and changing lives in the fitness field. And this is Charles and Amber Koloff. Thank you, Thrive. Hit your action items. We love you guys. Yeah. We wish we were there. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
My name is Jennifer Johnson. I'm in the pest control industry and also weed control and fertilization, and my business is Platinum Pest and Lawn. Some of the things that I'll be able to apply a lot of the things that I've learned in our business because this is not my first conference, and so a lot of the things that we learned we've put into place, and now we're doing the next level of refining the processes or just the different concepts, and so it's getting better and better. Things that were just big processes before, we have the foundation laid, and now we're able to make it better and better, and I'm hearing different things now that we've implemented things, and so we can just make it even better implementing it into our own business. Clay's presentation and the atmosphere is very exciting and fun. It keeps you awake. It makes it interesting. You have a lot of information, but if it's not going to be entertaining, your brain is going to tune it out. But Clay makes it just entertaining enough that you retain what you learn. Lots of rhyming and catchy things so that you remember stuff. Something that makes this conference different than other workshops or conferences that I've been to is that there's a lot of people here in my same situation. Most of us are pretty small businesses wanting to improve, and we want real life information and something that will work and that's attainable and not just some crazy magic formula, but actual action items that we can implement in our business and actually see a difference. Everyone should attend a Thrivetime Business Conference, whether you're a business owner or not. If you're a business owner, it has practical applications that you can apply to so many different parts of your business, and then you need to come back for more so that you can keep doing more of the wonderful things that you learn. But secondly, I am also a mom of 3 kids, and a lot of the concepts can actually be applied to home, like getting routines and getting setting systems at home has just seriously made a huge difference in my life at home. So I've been able to improve our business, but I've also been able to improve things at home, and so that's why everyone should come, no matter what your station is in life.
Yeah, my name is Nolan Q. I'm originally from San Francisco, California. The industry that I'm in is financial services. I've learned a ton so far, but what I could best apply from this conference is the opportunity, that hunger to go out there and make a big difference in my industry. Clay's presentation style is amazing. He's got an endless amount of energy. It's contagious, and yeah, by being here, I really do want to go back and be able to face all the adversity that the industry has. Yeah, this conference, the thing that makes it different is it's special because it has a unique set of individuals that all share that same energy. I think he pegs it as dragon energy, but yeah, everyone should come to multiple, but their first would be very special. Yeah, you're welcome with a lot of enthusiasm. That'll last for a long time.
My name is Gabriella Cruz. Our business is ECS Electric. My husband's the owner, but I'm involved with that, and so we're an electrical company. Well, here at the conference, they talk a lot about consistency, and so just staying consistent with different things in the business, and I feel like applying that to our business model will really help us grow. The atmosphere is very positive, uplifting, and then it's very fun and energetic, and so it gets you pumped and it gets you excited, and it encourages you to do big things. Probably how real they are. They tell you up front what you need to do and what's like a no-go, and some conferences they kind of sugarcoat things, so I like how real they are here. I think it'll definitely, if you want your business to grow, I think this would be a great experience, and then not only that, it'll encourage you and inform you on so many things you don't think about on a daily basis.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I've definitely learned a lot about life design and making sure the business serves you. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls, figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side. Clay is hilarious. I literally laughed so hard that I started having tears yesterday. And we've been learning a lot, which, we've been sitting here, we've been learning a lot, and so the humor definitely helps. It breaks it up. But the content is awesome, off the charts, and it's very interactive. You can raise your hand. It's not like you're just listening to the professor speak, The wizard teaches, but the wizard interacts and he takes questions, so that's awesome. If you're not attending the conference, you're missing about 3/4 to half of your life. You're definitely, it's probably worth a couple $1,000s. So you're missing the thought process of someone that's already started like 9 profitable businesses. So not only is it a lot of good information, but just getting in the thought process of Clay Clark or Dr. Zellner or any of the other coaches, getting in the thought process of how they're starting all these businesses, to me, just that is priceless. That's money. Well, we're definitely not getting upsold here. My wife and I have attended conferences where where it was great information and then they upsold us like half the conference, and I don't want to like bang my head into a wall, and she's like banging her head into the chair in front of her. Like, it's good information, but we're like, oh my gosh, I want to strangle you. Shut up and go with the presentation that we paid for. And that's not here. There's no upsells or anything, so that's awesome. I hate that. It makes me angry. So glad that's not happening. So the cost of this conference is quite a bit cheaper than business college. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I'm not using and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. I would definitely recommend that people would check out the Thrive 15 conference. The information that you're going to get is just very, very beneficial, and the mindset that you're going to get, that you're going to leave with, is just absolutely worth the price of a little bit of money and a few days worth of your time.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like him most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was, anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I've found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing, and Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because The results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships. But one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things, the processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due, and Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.